topics. Tonight on our news, we are keeping a close watch on Tropical Storm Erin as the storm set to intensify. What forecasters are predicting as we head into the weekend. Residents urged to prepare now as the storm moves 17 miles per hour with maximum winds of 60 miles per hour, disaster management officials speak. Plus, we'll tell you the nearly $2 billion to upgrade Atlantis Resort and the refinancing deal that's making it all possible. Then in our news at 7:30, Delvardo Emmanuel has the story of a family of 7 people now homeless after a fire tore through their 4-bedroom apartment home on East Street South. Their new reality straight ahead. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. We are keeping a close watch on Tropical Storm Erin. The storm, as we said at the top, is set to intensify. We've been keeping an eye on what forecasters are predicting as we head into the weekend. We go now to our very own forecaster and meteorologist, Greg Thompson. He's standing by in the Weather Center. And Greg, certainly we've been following the events earlier today, listening to what the international media is saying. But of course, until and unless we hear it from you, then we know what to expect. Yeah. What are we seeing?
Well, Erin is still getting its act together. It's actually intensifying as we speak. That system in the open Atlantic is moving into some very warm waters, and we will continue to track the system as it has the potential to strengthen to a hurricane by tomorrow, and then eventually by the end of the weekend and into early next week. It's expected to become a very powerful Category 3 system. Current position of this system out there in the open Atlantic at the 5 p.m. hour, 16.7 degrees north, 51.2 west. Winds up to 58 miles per hour, 60 miles per hour actually, and its movement is towards the west at 17 miles per hour. So it has not actually advanced rather quickly. It's still at that speed from yesterday, and that slow motion is actually one of the things we actually would not like to happen. We expect this system to move, like I said, into some very warm waters, and the track keeps it on a westerly motion. As I mentioned, tomorrow we expect this to strengthen to a Category 1 storm, and that system will continue to strengthen as it pushes into that warm water just to the east of the Bahamas. And by the weekend into early next week, we expect this to strengthen to a Category 3 storm. It should stay to the east of the islands, but its close proximity will be lending support to some very rough seas out there. So we're asking you boaters and you beachgoers by the weekend into early next week not to get out there into the waters because things are going to get rough as the system approaches the southeast Bahamas. By Sunday, Monday time frame, the surf will begin to affect the southeastern Bahamas, and then by Tuesday into Wednesday, spreading across the island chain, especially along the Atlantic exposure. So once again, we're asking you, stay out of the waters for the late part of the weekend into early next week, as we expect water and beaching conditions to deteriorate during that time frame. Of course, we'll keep you updated as to what Erin is going to be doing. If any changes expected or happens, we'll let you know that in the newscast. But in the meantime, closer to home, we are pretty much improved. Temperatures at 80 degrees right now outside our studios. East-northeast winds at 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 92. Current temperatures around the islands right now, all in mid to upper 80s once again across the northwest Bahamas. 86 Freeport, Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Great Harbor Key. We pick up 87 in Alistown, Bimini, Governors Harbor. 87 also Nicholls, San Andros. That 80 here in the capital, that was rain, cool 80. We did have some showers in the western side of the island. Into the central Bahamas, all in mid to upper 80s there as well. 88 in Kemps Bay. We pick up 86 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Town, San Salvador, Port Nelson, and Deadman's Key. Georgetown, Exuma as well. Black Point, Exuma 87, and into the southeast Bahamas, more 86 is popping up there with 85 in Duncan Town, Ragged Island, and a pair of 87s in the extreme southeast Bahamas, Matthewtown, Inagua, and Providentialis, Turks and Caicos Islands. Satellite and radar composite, we are still under the ridge of high pressure across our area. That's going to continue to keep us with stable conditions. We do have a weak trough just to the east of us, surface disturbance. That's going to be moving into our area, so we're looking for some increasing chance for some showers and possibly even an isolated thunderstorm as the system moves through. But all eyes will be on Erin for the weekend into early next week. So once again, we're asking you to keep updated with the local and latest news alerts. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at the tropics is still to come.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg. While we continue tracking developments, the Disaster Risk Management Authority predicts the Bahamas is in the clear based on the Met data so far. Still, Managing Director Aaron Sargent says residents should get storm ready.
Do not wait. Simply, we've been saying this since the establishment of the authority. Take proactive measures and steps to prepare your households, inspect your yards, review your family emergency plans, know where your nearest shelters are. And again, you can visit getready.gov.bs to find the necessary resources to help you and your families to prepare.
Atlantis, Paradise Island, getting a massive financial boost that promises more jobs, more upgrades, and a stronger future for Bahamian tourism. Brookfield has completed a $1.93 billion refinancing of the world-famous resort, according to a press release this afternoon. Since 2020, the company says it has invested more than $260 million into Atlantis, including a $150 million transformation of the Royal Tower's guest rooms, a renovation of the casino, and new restaurants. Officials say these upgrades helped drive record visitor numbers in 2024 and 2025. Now, Brookfield says it is planning another $475 million in improvements over the next 5 years, including a full renovation of the Cove starting in 2026. Brookfield also looking at development on 46 acres next to the resort and a possible redevelopment of the former beach towers. Now, Atlantis remains the country's largest private employer with over 6,000 employees. Well, a video. It's been making the rounds on social media, showing a late-night scene outside a Grand Bahama nightclub. Police arresting a young male as onlookers shouted that he's a child and accused officers of being too rough. The clip sparking a wave of online debate. Today, Superintendent Stephen Roll, who's the press liaison for the Northern Division, addressed the matter.
He was later subdued and taken to police custody. I can say that he was charged and put before the courts on charges of resisting arrest and disorderly behavior. I wish to advise the general public that our Commissioner of Police, Ms. Shanty, knows she is very stern on discipline, also on ethical behavior, and when it comes to officers and their professionalism. So if any officer found being breached, as a result of this information, of this investigation, they'll be dealt with accordingly.
Roll also had advice for anyone who feels an officer has crossed the line.
Speak to someone in leadership, some commander, okay? Because I would not tell you that it doesn't happen. I've had reports before, and it was addressed. So we need to, like I said, the unethical behavior, our commissioner stands firm on, and professionalism, we serve the public. So if you go to any station and you refuse to be served, speak to someone in administration or even a command ship. And if that fails, you can also visit our ACP, Mr. Alvaro Dames, and he'll direct you or direct straight to the Complaints Corruption Branch to file a formal complaint.
And police in New Providence looking into another brazen daylight shooting Wednesday that claimed the life of a 21-year-old man who was being electronically monitored. Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Sharia King says the victim was standing outside a home on Lexington Avenue shortly before 5 p.m. when it happened.
A dark-colored Japanese vehicle pulled up. One male occupant exited that vehicle, opened fire on the victim. The victim then ran just north of that residence when that same male suspect gave chase and continued to discharge gunshots in the direction of the victim. The victim then collapsed a short distance away.
And the chief superintendent gave these kind words to residents who filled the road as police carried out their initial investigation.
The police will continue to carry out our mandate. We will continue to stay steadfast and resolute in carrying out that mandate in maintaining law and order in the Bahamas. Chief Superintendent Skippings do walkabouts in this area on a regular basis in her division, making certain that the community, the members of the community, know that the police is there.
All right, the Social Services Department making it clear who will be receiving assistance in the Montgomery Shantytown community, set to be demolished next month. It's an effort by the Davis administration to totally rid the country of illegal communities. Our Joshua Williams, he was back there today with social workers.
Eviction notices have been laid in the Montgomery Shantytown, and now Social Services is on the move. From as early as 7:30 Thursday morning, officials going from door to door. speaking to occupants and collecting vital information. Approximately 200 of them will soon be homeless as government continues to demolish unregulated communities across the country. Chief Social Worker Deborah Smith shares with me how it's done.
Once they respond, we find out from their names, contacts, persons in the house, if there's anything that social services can assist them with. And we take their telephone numbers so that once we process this information, then we can make contact with them to say, come in, we can offer you one type of assistance.
But who qualifies for assistance? A question top of mind for many Bahamians looking at the operation from the outside.
Persons who are documented with Bahamian status, either citizenship, or permanent residence.
And just like our walkthrough with police yesterday, we were met with the same sights and smells of deteriorating conditions. But some homes appear to be constructed up to code, like this one, completed with hurricane-proof windows, security cameras, barbed wire running across the roof, and complete with Christmas decorations still hanging. One of the social workers asking a resident if he pays rent.
He said 3, each of them pay $200 a month.
$600 a month?
And exactly who is the money going to? Just like in other shanty towns we visited, they wouldn't answer. Then there's this mother, her 2 children clinging to her side, unable to answer questions clearly.
You work one day?
No.
You work?
No, they haven't.
So how you pay to live here?
Yeah.
How? What money you pay to live here?
Now, there's often a narrative that social services prefers to help other nationalities over Bahamians. Smith says that's simply not true.
Because the person is of another nationality, they see them getting the assistance, but they don't understand that we have followed due process, and those persons have provided for us their Bahamian status, their Bahamian documents. We want to put that to rest right now, and that's why we are here, to determine who we can assist and who we are unable to assist. Okay? Those persons are undocumented. We can assist them only on an emergency basis.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Coming up in sports, I'm supposed to give you a tease to incentivize you to watch later, but we already know Lamar Taylor's a beast, and he did more amazing things.
Comfort. Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
The concert is going to be dealing with how life was in the Bahamas in the past, what has changed, and what still remains the same. I'll be taking them down, I hope, not Memory Lane, but Memory Avenue. There's a big area we're going to be covering.
Nassau, get ready for a night you simply won't want to miss. For the first time in over 40 years, experience an evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruiseport.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Caribta to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for them?
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Lamar Taylor has added another medal to his collection at the 2025 Junior Pan American Games in Paraguay. Just one day after earning bronze in the men's 100-meter free, Taylor returned to the Olympic Aquatic Center and raced to a silver medal in the 50 free, touching the wall in 22.11 seconds. He currently holds the national record of 22.05 seconds, swam twice this year at the Bahamas Aquatics Federation National Championships and again at the World Aquatics Championships in Singapore last month. Team Bahamas is prepared to hit the court tonight at training camp for their first scrimmage in preparation for the FIBA America. Team Bahamas will face the host country Nicaragua in the first of two matchups tonight at 8:30 p.m. local time at the Alexis Arguello Sports Center in Nicaragua. Game 2 will be on August 16th. Tum Erin will make his debut as national team head coach with a roster that includes Isaiah Mobley making his national team debut. The Sunfish Bahamas Nationals were staged last weekend in Montague Bay, and your new champion, Tanaj Manos of the Exuma Sailing Club. Manos claimed the title after winning 3 of the 6 races completed over the 2-day regatta. It marks the second consecutive year that a sailor from the Exuma Sailing Club has captured the national crown. Last year, that was Alvington McKenzie. Deshaun Knowles has been on a tear recently in the American Association of Professional Baseball and clinched a milestone moment for his franchise. Knowles recorded the 214th stolen base this season for his Sioux City Explorers to set a new league record. The Explorers defeated the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks 2-1 to clinch the league's first playoff berth of the season. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the U.S. national debt surpasses $37 trillion. Plus, we'll tell you the U.S. visa restrictions on African, Cuban, and Grenadian government officials. And ExxonMobil signs a deal to explore for oil and gas near Trinidad. The story when our news returns.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to CARICOM and CHOGM, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution. Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court Apartment complex.
Our news at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Kendino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. For the first time in history, the U.S. national debt has surged past $37 trillion, according to new Treasury Department data. One fiscal watchdog says government is on a severely imbalanced path, spending a staggering $1 trillion this year alone on interest payments. It's now the second largest line item in the federal budget, topping even defense and health care, with what the watchdog says is no corrective action in sight. Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department imposing visa restrictions on officials from Africa, Cuba, Grenada, and Brazil, along with their families, accusing them of aiding Cuba's controversial medical mission program. Washington calls it a forced labor scheme where Cuban doctors are sent abroad for high fees while most of the pay goes to Havana, depriving Cubans of care. The U.S. says the action is meant to hold enablers of the Cuban regime accountable and urges nations to pay doctors directly. ExxonMobil has signed a deal to explore more than 2,700 square miles off Trinidad and Tobago's east coast in waters over 6,500 feet deep. Vice President of Global Exploration John Adrill said the project could mirror Guyana's oil boom, but cautioned there's no guarantee of success. A geophysical survey is set to start within 6 months, followed by test drilling. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar said the deal will boost energy security while keeping oversight in place. And now to small island sustainability development, the focus of this week's Sustainability First segment. Tonight we learn from Joshua Williams how our very own university is doing its part.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
Summer is winding down and university doors around the world are beginning to open. But for those of you that may have a little time, the University of the Bahamas is encouraging you to give their Small Island Sustainability Program a look. Its goal, to educate students on areas like ecotourism and marine sciences. Executive Director of the program is Dr. Kristen Unwala.
So the Small Island Sustainability Research Complex addresses sustainability challenges within the country and teaching students about the challenges that we face within the environment and the marine environment here in the Bahamas and globally as well. So trying to protect the resources that we have and planning for them in the future as well. And our primary degree right now is the marine science degree. So we have a lot of students who are becoming marine scientists and going off and working after they graduate with environmental organizations around the world.
This complex was completed in 2018, equipped with state-of-the-art classrooms and fully functioning laboratories.
The program has been in place about 13 years. The building is newer. It's been around since for about 5 years. But yes, we are a program that's growing. We're hoping to offer new degrees very soon as well. We're trying to meet national development needs, particularly related to the environment and sustainability. And so we hope to be expanding soon with our degree offerings.
She says while other schools may seem attractive, our climate and ecosystems make it the perfect place to teach sustainability.
Our degree is very unique in that we are looking at specifically small island sustainability. And there really are no other universities around the world that are teaching marine science or environmental issues in the context of small islands specifically. In the Bahamas are unique to larger countries and the issues that they face. We have some very specific issues that students, if they were to study in other universities, would not be able to learn about.
And so for those of you that may still be undecided, environmentalists say why not pick a career that's both self-satisfying and one that has a global impact as well. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Joshua Williams.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was August 14th. Then in our news at 7:30, a former MP and Supreme Court judge, now a fugitive from U.S. Justice. The story of Elliot Lockhart straight ahead. And we are still tracking Tropical Storm Erin as residents urge to prepare. Hear from disaster management officials when our news returns.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Atlantis.
On this day in Bahamian history in 2012, former cabinet minister and then chairman of the Free National Movement, Charles Maynard, died in North Abaco. He was 42. Then in 2013 was the groundbreaking of Genting Group's Phase 2 expansion of Resorts World on Bimini. In 2018, the entire Bahamas Power and Light Board had been dismissed. 2 years later, in 2020, there were 1,119 confirmed cases of COVID-19. And finally, in 2021 was news of a 7.2 magnitude earthquake in Haiti that struck 120 kilometers west of the capital, Port-au-Prince. If you want to learn more about the events that shaped the day that was August 14th, be sure and head over to ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Megan Shepard is up next at 7:30. But first, it's time for Thursday is the New Friday. Entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller is somewhere on the island getting the weekend started. I just know it's somewhere west. Denny?
Hey Ken, I am at 78 West on Gladstone Road, and if you remember a few weeks ago, they had a fire here that basically almost, I should say, destroyed everything that's in here. But since then, they have rebuilt and opened, I can say bigger and better, I think so. You guys also have an outdoor space. But what stands out about in here is this mural behind me. And I don't know if I should call you a government name. Michael? Yeah. Michael here, just to explain to me a little bit behind the meaning of this mural.
Well, as you can see, that's the mural there. It's just the wings of the phoenix. We arose from the ashes because of this being the severely burnt area. So this is where we decided to put it.
And it's like a photo opportunity as well.
It is. It is.
So it gives everybody like the enthusiasm that they can rise from anything.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all should hire me for BR.
We should.
All right, Ken, so I am at 78 West. I think I'm going to have a drink.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, back to you in studio, guys.
Bring me one, Denny.
Absolutely. You know, the rule is always two.
Listen, right, bring two. Wait, what are you drinking, Megan? We put you on the spot.
Oh, boy.
You know what?
Yes.
Well, let's leave that because I know you'll come for me.
All righty. Thank you so much, Candino. Well, of course, be sure to stay tuned to Our News on Thursdays to see more of Danielle Escabades. But for now, here are your latest headlines.
First tonight.
An afternoon fire here on East Street South not only leaves a family of 6 homeless, but without a place of worship.
Plus, an ex-parliamentarian and a Supreme Court judge, now a fugitive from the U.S. justice system, Elliot Lockhart, charged with perpetrating a $3.568 million fraud scheme. And then we're keeping all eyes on Tropical Storm Erin. Although the Bahamas remains in the clear for now, DRM officials are admonishing residents to stay prepared and vigilant. And later, on the road to three-peat, Team Bahamas is in Barbados for the 2025 Goodwill Games. Our Sasha Lightbourne tells us the swimmers are all set for the big competition. We've got the details for these stories and more when our news continues.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
At Struckham, we're all about peace of mind. With the latest tools and technology like PestPack, managing pest control just got easier. It's simple. Log on to the portal to review past services or monitor trends. Just tap Service Reports to access detailed records and see how we're keeping your business pest-free. You can even customize permissions so your teams in maintenance and health and safety have real-time access to everything they need. With PestPack, you're in control, anytime, anywhere. Get ready to simplify pest management with just a few taps.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Cetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Step into the new era of transportation when you visit the new BYD electric showroom in the mall at Marathon. Check out the latest models, find out about the latest tech features, and feel the luxurious quality of their designs. Register for a test drive and they will pick you up right from the mall for a smooth yet powerful ride. There's also easy in-house financing and leasing options, so you can drive.
Welcome to our news. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. 7 people are homeless tonight, one day after a fire tore through their 4-bedroom apartment home on East Street South. Luckily, no one was injured, but the home could not be saved. Our Delvado Emmanuel shares their story.
When the fire started Wednesday afternoon, Emmanuel Tybos, a father of 4, was downstairs inside the church that shares the same building as his family home. The blaze quickly consumed the upper floor where his pregnant wife and 4 children were resting. Tybos, who also pastors the church below, recalls how the ordeal unfolded in what seemed like seconds.
When I get up and I sit down, the guy who sell Kenneth crossroad from the car by the pole right there, say he sell smoking, and he called 500. And the truck come, and I just went outside, watching the scene when the fire truck come and kill the fire.
The family lost nearly all of their personal belongings, including some important documents. Now, to make matters even worse, Emmanuel didn't only lose his home, but he lost his church, House of Bethlehem International, where he had over 45 members.
I get church that's spending Sunday gone. Yes, Tuesday, a Bible study. Yeah, Wednesday night, I expect a pray. Meeting, I can't even do that because fire catch the place.
Now, since the flame engulfed their home, Emmanuel said he and his family was forced to sleep in their car.
I ain't got no place right now for sleep right now. I been by the beach, me and my family, going by the beach, sit in the same car. Yes, and by the beach, Montague Beach and stuff.
Good news, as Tybos says he's been in contact with the building's owners, who have stepped forward to offer support. While the cause of the fire remains under investigation, the family is now turning to social services for temporary shelter.
For right now, I don't feel okay right now. I don't feel right.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Tonight, U.S. federal authorities are pursuing former Bahamian MP and Supreme Court Judge Elliot Lockhart, KC, after he was charged with perpetrating a $3.568 million fraud. According to a local daily, Lockhart was indicted by a U.S. grand jury for wire fraud and alleged misappropriation of investor funds. His former Bahamas law offices and other assets are being seized and auctioned by a court-appointed receiver to repay victims. The May 15 indictment accuses Lockhart and Patricia Bullard, his former firm's interim director, of using investor money to buy real estate in the U.S. and luxury items for personal gain. One $151,000 payment was sent to purchase a property just one day after receiving the same amount from the victim, who thought the monies were being applied to his Bahamas property deals. Lockhart's whereabouts are currently unknown. Court documents received by Tribune Business confirm a live U.S. arrest warrant has been issued, and his details are in the National Crime Information Center database. This means Lockhart, who is also the former chairman of NASA Flight Services, the Gaming Board of the Bahamas, and the Police Inspectorate, is a fugitive from U.S. justice. However, Bullard has appeared in Florida court and was released conditionally, required to attend all hearings and surrender if sentenced. She has not pled guilty or been convicted. Lockhart was previously subject to an Interpol red notice in June 2024, and the Royal Bahamas Police had issued a wanted poster earlier that year after a criminal complaint was filed. Now, according to the local daily, other investors have since come forward with similar allegations. Abaco residents could soon receive relief after weeks of frustrating power outages, as Bahamas Power and Light is stepping up efforts to restore stable electricity on the island, following engine troubles that led to prolonged rolling blackouts. BPL's Chief Operations Officer Anthony Christie says crews at the Wilson City Power Station are working around the clock to repair 2 critical generation units. He adds that getting those units back online remains a top priority as the company works to deliver consistent and reliable power supply to Abaco.
There would have been some storms passing prior to that as well that may have impacted the supply to the customers. But in particular, we lost 1 unit that was online, and that resulted in us having to load shed until they were able to resolve the issue. But ongoing in Abaco, we have maintenance activities on 2 units at the Wilson City Power Station. The goal would be to restore one of those units before the end of this month. The other will be shortly thereafter. So both units are being worked on in parallel.
Christie says the BPL has rolled out new backup generators to the Keys, where power challenges remain and could intensify during a hurricane. He notes that efforts to reinforce those systems are already in progress.
Presently, we have 3 units that would have landed a week ago, and they're being dispatched. 1 is already installed on Manowar Key. 2 others are to be installed on Guana Key as well as Hopetown in order to provide redundancy or backup power whenever we have challenges from the mainland. So those customers, again, will have more generation or more stable generation in the next week or 2.
Well, for the past 3 years, His Excellency Thomas Hartley has served as British High Commissioner to the Bahamas, and now his term has come to an end. While appearing as a guest on our TV's On the Record with Jerome Sawyer, Hartley spoke to the way forward for the High Commission. He says he is confident his successor will continue to foster meaningful, impactful relationships between the 2 nations.
We've built lots of these bridges between Britain and the Bahamas on education, on sport, on food, on trade. I think we're now in a stage of deepening that relationship. And I think at the same time, the Bahamas is entering an election cycle, and that's often a time where foreign embassies will just take a step back, and it's a domestic issue. And when the chips settle sometime in the next year, that'll be a real opportunity to have some of these longer term conversations again about Britain and the Bahamas and our role together.
Now be sure to stay tuned to our TV immediately following our news for more from Hartley in tonight's episode of On the Record, tonight at 8 p.m. Meantime, as Tropical Storm Erin strengthens and heads west, the Disaster Risk Management Authority says the Bahamas is in the clear, at least for now. Still, officials urge Bahamians to stay prepared for the hurricane season. Data from the Met Department shows the storm is moving at 17 miles per hour with maximum winds of 60 miles per hour. Erin is expected to become a hurricane by Friday and a major hurricane by Sunday. DRM Managing Director Aaron Sargent says the Prime Minister has been briefed.
The forecast, based on the Met and the guidance from the Met, is that they do expect it at some point to take its northerly turn, which takes it out of the vicinity of the Bahamas. However, these disturbances, these storms are very volatile and can make sudden shifts in movement. So again, we are encouraging Bahamians to take the necessary steps.
Sargent says there are new policy instruments in place, like the National Disaster Coordination Protocol and the National Emergency Management Plans. Sargent adds that shelters across the island are being prepared and monitored closely.
We are equipped to an extent. The shelters, we have conducted an extensive shelter inspection process. I've revamped one at that over the last few months. We would have produced a new shelter listing. We would have removed any shelters that did not meet the stringent requirement. One of the things that we have noted, as you know, shelters in the country are private-owned, mostly private-owned. We have about 2 government or purpose-built shelters, and those have disability access. A number of them do not have that access, and so that is a work in progress for the authority.
Well, seems like good news so far, but definitely great advice to stay prepared. But for the latest on Tropical Storm Erin and your first look at temperatures, here's meteorologist Greg Thompson. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. A happy Thursday evening, everybody. Cooler conditions are on the outside right now. We did have a couple of isolated showers across the island. Most of those showers have dissipated. 80 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. We call it humid. East-northeast winds at 10 miles per hour. Your feels-like temperature hanging out in the low 90s. Satellite radar composite, that ridge of high pressure, still in charge of our weather. That's keeping us with mostly stable conditions. We do have a weak surface trough just to the east of the islands. That's going to be moving towards the west-northwest. That will bring us some increasing shower chances as well as isolated thunderstorms. Not much in terms of any cloud. Most of the clouds will be along the boundary. But that system will move across our area, but that high will stay with us. The Department of Meteorology still has a heat advisory out for the entire chain of islands. So we're asking you, if you plan on being in the outdoors, stay hydrated, wear some lightly colored clothing. We'll talk more about Erin and what Erin is expected to do on the weekend when we come back later on in the newscast.
When our news comes back from the break, writing a new chapter in the city of Freeport's growth story, our Candino Knowles focuses on the GBPA's push for new projects and major investors. Plus, providing guidance, mentorship, and opportunities to youth across the country. Urban Renewal expanding its Youth Achievement Club to the nation's second city. Those details coming up when our news returns.
Step into the new era of transportation when you visit the new BYD electric showroom in the mall at Marathon. Check out the latest models, find out about the latest tech features, and feel the luxurious quality of their designs. Register for a test drive and they will pick you up right from the mall for a smooth yet powerful ride. There's also easy in-house financing and leasing options, so you can drive happily ever after in your electric BYD.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought us.
From thriving restaurants and cultural spots to major investments in education and infrastructure, our City in Focus series has been showing how Freeport is writing a new chapter in its growth story. And the Grand Bahama Port Authority is still actively spreading the word here at home and around the world. Our news anchor, Candino Knowles, puts the spotlight on a recent push as new projects and major investors make the city's pitch even stronger.
Economy in the Caribbean and the fastest growing economy in the Bahamas.
And GBPA leaders like Derek Newbold say they're making it easier than ever for existing and aspiring entrepreneurs and homeowners to be part of it. At a recent presentation in New Providence, Customer Relations Manager Nicole Colebrook invited attendees to picture a city with no traffic jams, pothole-free roads, and commutes under 15 minutes.
There was no traffic, and you got there in 15 minutes to your building that you built without paying any duty on your manufacturing facility. Where in the Bahamas is this place?
Colebrook outlined Freeport's planned city motto, where zoning keeps residential and commercial areas separate, along with a fast-track business licensing process offering approvals in as little as 48 hours. It's a pitch aimed at residents across the country and the global community.
Everything is done online. And you would also be attached to a customer relations representative.
The city also offers a business diversity waiver, cutting or waiving first-year license fees for unique new ventures. And for small operations, there are registered spaces, shared offices, and warehouse office combos to help keep overhead low. Recent months have brought more than just business incentives. Carnival Celebration Key Cruise Port, now open, is expected to bring thousands of visitors weekly, adding fresh energy to the island's economy. It's all part of a surge in development across Grand Bahama, with more than $12 billion in capital projects in the pipeline.
So you're not alone in this process. We are here to help you every step of the way.
GBPA says the invitation is open and the vision is clear. Freeport remains open and ready for business. Reporting for our news, I'm Kendino Knowles.
All right, thanks so much, Kendino. Urban Renewals, the Youth Achievers Club, YAC, has made its way to Grand Bahama. The recent expansion to the island is all part of the program's nationwide rollout of YAC to offer guidance, mentorship, and opportunities for personal development in every district where there is an Urban Renewal Center. The announcement made on Tuesday at the Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal Authority headquarters on Grand Bahama. The official launch of the club is scheduled for this Friday at Central Zion Baptist Church in 8 Mile Rock. Manager at the Urban Renewal Center, Tanya Monroe, says the goal is to follow a child from the moment they enter the program until it's time for them to leave.
This coming Friday, we are excited to launch this program. We have an excited program scheduled for that morning, which is going to be very exciting. And so our aim, our focus is to make sure that we don't leave no child behind, because our centers are often faced with children that come into the center with needs, with concerns. And so that is why the appeal is going out there that anyone that can assist us at the centers, we will be more than grateful in any which way. You never know how that child is going to need your help.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, Lamar Taylor wins his second medal in as many days at the Junior Pan Ams. Team Bahamas hits the court tonight in their first scrimmage ahead of the AmeriCup. A recap of the Sunfish Nationals, and Deshaun Knowles gets stolen base number 214. Not just for him, that would be insane, but for the team.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Caricom and Chogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all...
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Lamar Taylor has added another medal to his collection at the 2025 Junior Pan American Games in Paraguay. Just one day after earning bronze in the men's 100-meter free, Taylor returned to the Olympic Aquatic Center and raced to a silver medal in the 50 free, touching the wall in 22.11 seconds. He currently holds the national record of 22.05 seconds, swam twice this year at the Bahamas Aquatics Federation National Championships and again at the World Aquatics Championships in Singapore last month. Also competing yesterday in the 50 free was Marvin Johnson. Johnson tied for first place in the B final with Christian Ramos of the Dominican Republic, both clocking 23.05 seconds. In the women's race, Zoe Williamson finished 7th in her heat and 20th overall in 27.56 seconds. Team Bahamas is prepared to hit the court tonight at training camp for their first scrimmage in preparation for the FIBA America. Team Bahamas will face the host country Nicaragua in the first of two matchups tonight at 8:30 p.m. local time at the Alexis Arguello Sports Center in Nicaragua. Game 2 will be on August 16th. Tum Nairn will make his debut as national team head coach with a roster that includes Isaiah Mobley making his national team debut. When the games officially begin, Team Bahamas will take on the United States on August 23rd. They face Brazil on August 24th and complete the group stage against Uruguay on August 26th. The top two teams from each group, along with the two best third-place teams, will advance to the quarterfinals. The Sunfish Bahamas Nationals were staged last weekend in Montague Bay, and your new champion, Tanaj Manos of the Exuma Sailing Club. Manos claimed the title after winning 3 of the 6 races completed over the 2-day regatta. It marks the second consecutive year that a sailor from the Exuma Sailing Club has captured the national crown. Last year, that was Alvington McKinsey. Manos finished ahead of the field with 7 points, followed by the top junior and top girl in the fleet, Mary Jack Nash of Life for Key Sailing, with 12 points. Drake Knowles of Long Island finished 3rd overall on a tiebreak with 16 points, and Gavin McKinney of the Nassau Yacht Club, also with 16 points, claimed the top master honors. Both Manos and Nash will go on to represent the Bahamas at the Sunfish events in the pre-CAC qualifier in Las Calderas Bay, Dominican Republic, August 29th to 31st. Deshaun Knowles has been on a tear recently in the American Association of Professional Baseball and clinched a milestone moment for his franchise. Knowles recorded the 214th stolen base this season for his Sioux City Explorers to set a new league record. The Explorers defeated the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks 2-1 to clinch the league's first playoff berth of the season. Since mid-July, Knowles has been one of the driving forces in the Explorers' run toward the pennant. He came into Wednesday's matchup hitting .438 with 9 extra base hits, 23 RBI, and 23 stolen bases over his last 23 games. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS, and it's that time of year when you would take fantasy football advice from just about anybody, so here it goes. Amon-Ra St. Brown outscoring Jamar Chase this year. Trust me, I'm on TV. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight. Day 1 of practice for swimmers down in Barbados. Members of Team Bahamas say they are ready for competition set to begin in a matter of hours. But first, Greg steps back in the Weather Center with a complete look at your forecast across the country. Stick with us.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and time allocated to do the installation.
This is our news. Welcome back. We are still tracking Erin, which is slowly gaining strength as winds up to 60 miles per hour still out there in the open Atlantic, and that system will continue on its westward track. Present position places Erin right now at 5 p.m., 16.7 degrees north, 51.2 degrees west. Winds up to 60 miles per hour, and your movement is towards the west at 17 miles per hour. Hasn't increased its forward speed, still moving at what it was yesterday. But we expect the system to be moving into some very warm waters over the next couple of days. So it's expected that Erin will become a hurricane tomorrow and will strengthen to a Category 3 hurricane by Saturday. And as that system continues to progress towards the west and then eventually turning more towards the northwest, all courtesy of that high pressure system backing off in the Atlantic, that's going to allow it to turn. But by early next week, expected, possible that the system could make it to a Category 3 storm. So a very major storm out towards the east of us. What the effects will be for us across the chain of islands, we will see some very rough seas and some swells affecting the entire chain, and that begins on Sunday into Monday for the southeast Bahamas, and that will spread across the entire chain throughout most of the week. By Thursday, we expect the system to be pulling out towards the north and east and away from us. But we're asking you boaters and you beachgoers, if you plan on doing anything for the weekend, that's not advised. Stay in port and stay on shore as the system will produce some very rough seas. Boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Rip current risk still out there, slight, but your winds will be southeast 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times, seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. High tide is at 36 minutes past midnight. The low tide takes place at 6:53 tomorrow morning. Central and southeast islands, rip current risk also there, but a more easterly flow at 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, still beautiful weather for the remainder of the week. We do introduce an uptick in some showers, courtesy of that trough that's going to be moving through us for the weekend. But all in all, temperatures will stay in the 90s, and that should take us through early next week. Once again, we will continue to keep you updated on the progress of Erin as it approaches us for the early part of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
They say practice makes perfect, and that's exactly what Team Bahamas did shortly after touching down in Barbados on Wednesday. With less than 48 hours before competition, our Sasha Lightborn was poolside for their first training session.
That's how Team Bahamas wrapped up their first practice at Barbados' Aquatic Center Wednesday afternoon in preparation for the 2025 Goodwill Games. The 40-member swim team had a quick turnaround after landing at Grantley Adams International Airport just after noon, then hitting the pool shortly after 4 p.m. for an hour-long session. Team Bahamas swimmer Nyla Benaby described how the water felt during her first swim.
The pool felt very shallow. It felt very cool in the water, and it felt very low.
Okay.
The water felt.
Is that good for practice, in your opinion? Or you would have wanted it to be a little bit different?
I want to be a little bit different.
And Benaby also has an interesting story. At last year's game, she actually swam with Team Barbados.
I feel a little bit nervous competing against my friends, but other than that, I feel very happy being with my other team.
Team Bahamas swimmer Ariel Monker, competing in the boys 13 to 14 age group, says the first practice was just okay, but he's looking forward to the meet.
Well, currently in the 50 and the 100 breast, I'm ranked second in both, hoping to go for the gold. And 100 fly and 2 free. Not too far from bronze, so maybe try to get that.
Now, Barbados placed third last year with 892 points. We caught up with their head coach, Russell Walton, whose swimmers were training right next to Team Bahamas.
We've been practicing well. The team is very enthusiastic, and they're looking forward to the competition, especially because of the games are in Barbados. The strategy is children got to go out there and swim. We can't do it on paper. We can't do it with the watches. They have to do it in the water.
Team Bahamas is coming in as the two-time defending champions, having won in Jamaica and St. Lucia in 2023 and 2024, respectively. They're hoping to bring home a third consecutive title once competition begins on Friday. Reporting for our news from Barbados, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
All right, thanks so much, Sasha. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.